Okay, so we're looking at triangle defence and escape. So to start off with, just going to go through a basic study of what a triangle is, so then we can reverse engineer it and look at how best to get out of it. So, starting off, we can break a triangle down into 5 main parts. The first part that always features is one arm outside of my legs and one arm inside of my legs. This, okay? I jump my legs up, catch this top lock around the top of the neck. Okay, from there, the second part that always features is breaking the posture. Okay, so people look to get their one arm in, one arm out, and break the person's posture down to here. Third part that you'll usually see in most triangles is the arm being dragged across. Sometimes it'll be done without this, but generally most people will bring the arm across when they're triangling someone. So we're going to look at that for when we're defending it. Okay, so the third part, the arm across. We've got optional fourth part, which will be an angle adjustment. And this is just simply cutting the shoulder out from the triangle by pulling my leg past, turning my head round here. And then the fifth part, 2 hands pulling on over the head, or one round the head, one round the knee, pulling down onto that to put the triangle on. Okay. So basically what a triangle is it's compression of the arteries on this side from my leg and on this side by driving the top of her shoulder and her arm into her arteries there. So when you see this move from here, one arm in, one arm out, breaking the posture, bringing the arm across, changing the angle, and squeezing the knees together, pulling down the head, and that triangle comes on. Okay, so about 5 to 6 seconds of pressure on the arteries there when I'm compressing in with my legs, and the person will go unconscious. If they do go unconscious, make sure to release the triangle straight away, otherwise if you leave it on it can be quite dangerous. You know, about 30 seconds of pressure could cause damage to the brain, and after about a minute the person could die. So make sure that that is let go of once somebody is either tapping or, you know, if it's using a different situation, they go unconscious, make sure you let go. You'll be able to tell if they're unconscious. You know, they'll start shaking, start making snorting noises, you'll feel their weight drop on you. So make sure to let that go straight away. What we're going to do now is we're looking at how to avoid a triangle first of all. So the earlier we can start to defend the triangle, the more chance there is of getting out of it. Okay. So the best time to start defending, is at the initial start, before the triangle, not even letting it happen in the first place. So let's look at what we need for that. Okay. First of all, as we spoke about the 5 parts, it's easy to discern what we don't want to do. First of all, we don't want to let one of our arms be pulled out, one arm in, one arm out. We want to make sure both of our arms are either inside of that guard or both of those arms are outside of that guard. Okay, both arms are in. Next up, upright posture. Okay, I don't want to get pulled down here. If I bring my head, my shoulders down to here, it's much easier for her to jump her legs up around for that triangle. Okay, if I'm here, it's not that much distance to jump around for the triangle. Jump around. Yeah. If I'm and then reset. If I'm up here and she tries to do the same thing, it's a lot harder for her to do. Okay. And again, my arms here will be working as posts to keep her from coming up there. So I'm upright here. At the same time, I'm pushing down on the hips so she can't jump the hips. She can't pull me down. I'm a long way from her legs and hips. My arms are safe on the inside. I'll be squeezing my thighs lightly. That will just keep her hips from being able to pull down after she lifts up, and it'll stop me having my posture broken further. I'll also be engaging my hips, which will stop my shoulders being pulled forward. If I'm following all of these things in the first place, I should be able to avoid the triangle. Yeah, so prevention is much better than trying to have to defend and escape it once you've made a mistake. Okay. Okay. So when we're looking at the triangle, what we want is a pre-planned response that is automatic muscle memory, and we know what we're doing. Okay. We don't want to get into the triangle and then just start. You know, maybe we know 8 different escapes. Just trying all of them and seeing if one of them works. Okay. It's not a very good method to escape. And in a triangle, time is really important. You've got to act quick, because that situation becomes progressively worse if we're not blocking each next stage. So if I start bringing my arm over here and then trying to do this escape, and I'm actively helping her to tighten the triangle, okay? So what I want to do is have an appropriate response pre-planned for that specific area of the triangle, you know? If she's gone one arm in, one arm out, yeah, I want to have pre-planned option there. I don't want to go further into the triangle, we're getting the posture break, yeah? So when we're looking at previously at the anatomy of a triangle and the 5 different stages, if she's only done one of those stages, the last thing I want to do is go into the next stage, we're getting the posture, the next stage we're getting the arm across, the next stage by letting her get the angle adjustment, and the next stage by letting her pull down on the head. So we can avoid all of them early. That's the best way to operate. So we want each of our escapes needs to be fitted suitably to the stage of the triangle that we're in. That way we don't end up in a worse situation and the triangle becomes harder to escape. So we need a pre-planned response. When we're in that position, we don't have time to think. We need to be able to just feel exactly where we're in the triangle, feel which escapes are possible, and know straight away I'm in this one and that's the escape I want. Okay, so we need to have that specific response for that specific situation ready to go. Okay, so before we get into specific escape positioning from here, there's 2 things that we don't want to do regardless of where we are inside the triangle. The first one that we don't want to do, if you just throw the triangle on me, the first one we never ever do is we never step up on the side of the opposite of the arm that's trapped, okay? If I do that, she can underhook and sweep me over, okay? And then I'm in a worse position. She may finish a triangle for side, she may come on top of the mount triangle, she may switch to an armbar from here, she may just come up into mount, okay? So I don't want to get swept and then end up in a bad position. So from here, the last thing I want to do, if she throws up that triangle from there, if I step up on this side here, and she comes under, I'm safe. Look, I can put my hand out, I've got that post. But if I do things the other way round, I can't post out, and that's when I'm going over, okay? So, as well as that, if you look from there, she underhooks there, it also gives her a lever to put on, change the angle, and it locks me up more, makes it harder for me to escape. So I don't step up opposite the trapped arm. The other thing I don't do is I do not leave this trapped arm unanchored. I either grab the belt, I grab my hands, I grab the leg up here. This is always anchored. If I leave it hanging, she's going to go for the armbar there, or the leg comes around the head and on the armbar there. So this arm, you don't leave it hanging. You see all the time people get carried away in escape. They come up here, they forget that, the arm, and the next thing you know, the leg's going up, it's coming around the head, and the armbar's coming on. So this stays attached. So now, there's no armbar, okay? You've got to anchor the arm first. Okay, so now what we want to look at is separating the 2 parts of escape into, first of all, into surviving the position, into position of safety, and then into the actual escape. So we want to have 2 goals, okay? Before we think about escaping, unless the escape's right there in front of us, we want to be able to get a position and a frame inside of that triangle where we can hold on to the position for a while and we're not in danger. We can hold the triangle off effectively, okay? So if she throws the triangle up and over, you know, when I'm in here, before I think about escape, I just need to think first about blocking the next stage, okay? So like from here, I can feel that my posture's broken. I've got one arm in, one arm out, and my arm is blocked from coming across here. So if I can just get to a position whereby from here, I can just hold off that next stage, I can then start to work my escape from a position of safety where I don't have to worry about the triangle getting worse. You know, I need to go to this automatically. If I start moving about, just going for everything, that's when I'm going to actually probably make a mistake, leave an opening and put myself in a worse position, okay? So I need to have 2 goals, first of all. 1, position of survival, position of safety. 2, then my escape. If I can get to that position and hold the triangle off, I can then take my time that's needed to get to the escape. So we need to be very urgent and get to that position of safety, and then from there we can start to work our escape without having to worry about the triangle getting into a worse situation, okay? Okay, so the position of safety will involve a frame of some sort that will prevent the triangle from progressing, okay? But also where my arm's safely anchored, yeah, and my neck is not in any danger of getting squeezed. I've created a bit of space between my neck and shoulder, and my arm's anchored. And from this position, I can then work forward on my terms to break out from the triangle, you know, and I can start to use this positioning then to get out from there, yeah? So I can, from this position, start to just break that open, okay? So, you know, it'll be a frame of some sort whereby it just creates that gap between the neck and shoulder, and my arm is safely anchored and fastened to there. And from there, it's hard for her to adjust from here, and I can start to then work to my next goal, which would be the escape. Okay, so now we'll look at our second goal, which is escape, where we've got to a position of safety, and we're going to look at escape. Our escape is always going to involve one of a few things, okay? Generally, the main one it's going to involve is cutting through this gap, breaking through the joining of the legs. So if I'm in a triangle, either I'll, from here, either I can break that gap open, or maybe I go from one arm in, one arm out to two arms inside and use that to break it open. Maybe I'm able to slip from here, slip my head out, so my arm and head aren't trapped in. Or maybe from here, I'm somehow able to pull my other arm out. Okay, there's only so many ways to escape it, okay? Either I cut through here, either I get my other arm back in, either I get both arms out, or I slip my head out, okay? So it's going to be one of those ways which we escape, and then you'll see the specific techniques and movements we'll use. One of those movements there will be the concepts that work, okay? So it's going to be one of those concepts that work for us, either cutting through here, getting both arms back in, both arms out, or getting my head outside, okay? So it's going to be one of those four concepts that you'll see in the techniques to escape. Okay, so let's look through the stages of the triangle and how we can defend each stage and then progress to escape. Okay, so first of all, when we get to that each stage, what we're going to look at is with each stage we're going to look at, first of all, getting to a position of safety and then an escape from there. So the first part of the 5 stages of the triangle is one arm in, one arm out. At this point, I'm not going to let her get the posture. I'm going to draw back, get my arms secure, put her up into my lap like this, and keep my head up high. So I maintain posture, I maintain my arm from being dragged across, I prevent her from doing the angle adjustment and prevent the hands, all because at the moment I've prevented the posture break. She can't do any of those things really until she gets the posture break. Okay, so from this here, I've pulled her back and I'll get in this position here where I can pull her back into here, sit down safely here. It's very hard for her to do anything from here. If she tries to attack, my posture's too high up. So this is my first position of safety. So if I'm in a triangle and I make a mistake and I end up with one arm in, one arm out, immediately I pull my posture back, I pull her back into my lap, and I secure this arm here, tied into the hip, head up here, and I should be able to prevent the next stages of the triangle and then start to work my escape from a position where I'm not in any danger of being submitted. Okay? Okay, so again from here, she puts one arm in, one arm out, I maintain my posture, draw back, secure this arm here. I'll make sure my elbow stays on the outside of the hip. I don't let it get pulled across. I keep my elbow back, locked down into a hip. I keep this hand anchored here and my head up, and I'm sat down, calf to thigh here. Just maintain my posture from up here, and from there I can then progress from a position of safety without having to worry about submitting to the triangle, where I can start to then engineer my escape from here. So now we'll work with that position. We're going to look at how to escape from there and how we've got to that position of safety. So with one arm in, one arm out, drawn back into my safety position, and then from here I'm going to anchor this hand down the belt with no gear. I'm just going to anchor it onto the hip, and I'm going to bring this hand through inside here, back inside. To do that, I will just, as I come through, I'll just dip my chest back a bit and my hand comes inside. I'm immediately going to clasp here to re-anchor this to this hand, and then I'm just going to start to drive outwards into the thigh while I stretch my head and shoulders upwards, bringing my arm back inside where I'm safe. Okay. So she puts one arm in, one arm out. Push that up, I immediately draw back in my position of safety, elbows back here, arms locked, heads up. Okay, I'm sat down low, so I'm not up high, so I've got a good stable base, and from there I just secure this hand onto the belt, onto the hip here, and then bring my hand inside, stuck there, dip my chest back a bit momentarily to bring it in, and I clasp my hands together. I drive outwards into the thigh as I stretch up with my shoulders, and that brings my hands back inside. So another trick I can use to get that hand in from that first position. Draw back in my safety position, try to dip my chest down, it's a bit too tight to get my hand through. I'm going to secure this grip on the trousers or on the gi and the belt, and the second hand here is going to come round to the back of the trousers on the back, okay? So just move around from here, see? Secure on the back of the trousers here, and I'm going to push down while pulling my head up. That'll just create a bit of space. I can then switch to get my hand in, drive outwards, stretch up, and break the triangle open. Okay, a second method of escape I can use from that position of safety. So she throws one arm in, one arm out. That's my first safety position, and we're looking at still on our first section of the escapes, which is just dealing with one arm in, one arm out. We've still got our posture. Okay, I get to my position of safety here, and then from there I'm going to work my hands up to the leg. I'm going to start to dip my head in backwards with my knees. I'm just going to pull my head down, shake that leg, and just see if I can pull my head free. Okay, it may work, it may not work. Okay, because if it doesn't work, we just move on to a different escape. Okay, but that's another option that can work well, especially if we're able to shake the legs a bit looser. So once we get to this position of safety, we can also do all of those from standing up as well. So from here she throws one arm in, one arm out. It's a triangle locked up, so pull back, draw back to here, and I'm in my position of safety. Okay, from here I want to get my hand in, but I can't necessarily reach it from here. I can also just switch to standing position from here if I want. So I'm going to anchor my hand, okay, and then from there I'm going to stand up now. If I stand up, it's either this foot first, or if I do step up with this one, I step back around here, where she can't underhook that leg. I stand from here, and then from here, bring my hand inside, drive down, and stretch open that triangle, okay? And you'll notice the angle I'm taking when I'm doing that is I'm angling round to this side, okay? So remember stage 4 of that triangle there, when she's got the arm across, and next she wants the angle adjustment. So she does the angle adjustment from here. She wants to go that way, and I'm on this side, so that when I step up, you just relock the triangle for me from there. When I step up, it's round this side, the opposite angle to what she wants to tighten the triangle, okay? And then from there, slipping my hand in, stretching it open. I can also do dragging my head outside. So from here, goes in, throws the triangle up, I secure it back here, and I stand. From here, I'm going to go 2 hands to the knee, and I'm going to get my head, just bear it down, start shaking on a leg. If I need to, I can reinforce that position by taking my knee and putting it on the back of her leg and the back of her hips, and just shake here and bring that head out from that position, okay? So again, from here, so we've got that. She throws this one up, draw back into my position of safety, okay? From there, I stand up, switch to the knee, and then I'm going to slip my head out, start shaking it. Sometimes my head comes out, other times it won't come out from here directly. So from that position, I can use a knee, just put brace on the back, and able to pull my head out from that position, okay? The other movement I can also do from there, same one again, but standing, so gets one arm in, one arm out, I draw back to here. If you're able to do that, even if your posture's broken, if we go back down and my posture broken, if you are able to draw back here, this is a great option. It will be hard though to do it against someone experienced who's already broken your posture, but you may get away with drawing back in that situation. So I've drawn back up here, okay, because you've only got one arm in, one arm out. It's not really a posture break yet, so I'm back here, okay? And now I'm gonna, from here I can secure my arm, my belt, trousers, and the gi. I'm gonna stand up. From here I'm gonna take this hand, grab the back of the trousers, and I'm gonna start to push down while I stretch up, and that will break open that triangle. So the result of any of these stage 1 escapes is from here, the guard is broke open immediately. We want to progress to a better position, so we're going to block the reclosing of that guard and get a knee inside to prevent that from being closed. Maybe we back out, passing. So the result of this is not just that we've defended the triangle and escaped it, we've also progressed into a better position. We've used it to open the closed guard and start to get around the legs, okay? So the result of this is that we've broken open the guard, okay? And we're also in a good position to pass from there, okay? Okay, situation 2. So we're addressing the second part of that triangle sequence now. So she gets hold of the arms, puts one in, one out, and shoots a triangle. This time she pulls us down, breaks our posture. We try to draw back to that first safety position, but we can't. Immediately we're aware of this,
and this prompts us to move to our second safety position. My second safety position will be enabled by the fact that I'm able to circle my arm out round here and get my hand down to the hip. Okay. If she's got hold of the arm and pushing it across, it's going to be hard to do this. But at the moment she's pulled down and broke the posture, but my hand is free to move still. I get round here and I circle it round and I make a C grip into the hip. I reach across to the collar here, or in no gi I can cut the shoulder or reach down across the hips. I reach across here, grab hold, and I put my elbow down the floor, turning her onto her side. I start circling her back here and drawing her leg away from her body. Remember, a triangle is a compression technique, okay? So from here, she wants to squeeze everything in and down and crunch in with her head and pull with her hand and compress everything in. It's not like an arm bar. An arm bar is an extension. If you watch the hips, they extend for an arm bar. With a triangle, it's a contraction, it's a compression. She's pulling me into there. So if I can draw those knees back away from that chest, it makes that triangle harder to finish, okay? I'm drawing the position away from her core, which makes it harder to squeeze and makes it a less stronger position for her. So from here, I manage to scoot my arm around here, I reach across, get my elbow down, tip her onto her side and just stretch her back. A couple of things are working in my favour here. One is, as I just mentioned, the knees are drawn away from the core of the body, which makes it a weaker position. Two, I've put her on her side. Triangles are harder to finish on your side than flat on your back. You're better able to squeeze and adjust from here and cut out all the spaces in the position. From here, it's harder to do so and you tend to kind of get stuck on your side. Okay, so this is our second safety position when not only have we had one arm put in, one arm put out, but also we've had our posture broken. And from here, I'm quite safe to then proceed forward and escape without having to worry about much happening. Okay, so that's our second safety position. Okay, so now looking at our option for escape. Now we've achieved that first goal of getting to our safety position. So from here, she throws one arm in, one arm out, shoots up the triangle and breaks my posture. But my arm's still free to move. I get it down here to the hip. I reach across here, tip her onto her side and start to stretch back. From here, if you can get to this position, you're pretty much guaranteed to break out from here and escape the triangle. Just draw the legs back further, and then from here, as I draw the legs back, I drive my top shoulder downwards or turning my hip down and pulling back and breaking that triangle open. The result from here is I'm in a great position to pass, keep my weight on the person, and just from here, pull my arm free and move round into a pass. Okay, so just changing that angle so you can see the pressure coming down from the knee and the shoulder. In here, she shoots a triangle on me, immediately breaks my posture, put my hands on the outside here so it's safe. I get round and I draw her back. From here, as I draw her legs back, I'm going to bring my shoulder down across her leg as I draw my other shoulder backwards, start to stretch her legs apart, and I'm going to put my legs straight and bring my hip down as that knee comes up. Break and open the position. I keep my weight on her, pull my arm free, slide round into the pass, maybe even securing the back take position from there. Okay, so we're going to look at our third safety position. And again, this is going to relate to the movements we looked at earlier with the sequence of the triangle. So she puts one arm in, one arm out. She breaks my posture, and this time she's got hold of my arm, so she's starting to drag it across and it's pulled in here. So I'm unable to work my hand back out around to this side because she's got hold of the arm, so I can't do that. But my elbow is still this side of her centre line. Okay, if my elbow's gone across the centre line, she's able to pull her knees to her shoulders, and it's going to be very hard for me to use this space here by her hip. But if I'm able to keep my elbow back here, but she's pulled it across, what I'm going to do is from here, I'm going to secure this hand first, as always. I'm then going to take this hand back here, and I'm going to start to angle round. I'm going to step up. I'm going to bring my knee down onto her hip, joining my elbow. I'm going to slide it across a bit, bringing it across here. And now I'm going to stack my weight onto her and lean up here, join my hands back together, and I'm in my third position of safety. Okay, from here I can hold this quite comfortably. My knee is down on her hips, making it very hard for her to adjust the triangle, and it's very hard for her to move from this position. She's kind of stuck onto the floor from here. She can't really pull down on the head. It's hard to disrupt my balance because of this off angle I've got here, and my leg's too far away from her to underhook. And then from here I can start to work to our next escape. Okay, so my hand is in here, so I've joined together. I can secure them both on the belt. I'm slide it across get that weight down with my knee onto the edge of her hip, drive my head up, again posturing up, and then we're in that position, and next we can look at how to escape from here. Okay, so now we look at how to escape that third position of safety. So I'm in here, she throws the arm in, pulls me down, starts to move the arm across. Okay, so I can't pull my head back up, I can't reach out around to put my hand on the hip. Those things are self-explanatory, I can feel immediately they're not a possibility. So I go to my next stage, I secure the hand, I start to work round here, I bring my knee up, slide it across onto the hip as I turn the angle, bringing it, that and my elbow together, and then from here lifting my head up. I take both my hands, I push down into her hip while I stretch up and break the triangle open. From here I immediately want to slide her leg past and work to the pass. So the result is I get that pass on that movement, okay? Just to show from another angle. Throws the triangle up from here, down here. So I feel that the arm's not across the centre line yet, so I'm able to keep her knee and shoulder apart. So what I do is I'm going to secure my hand around here, bring my knee round and join it to my elbow. I then slide it across a bit and stack the weight up onto her hip, making sure my knee is kneeling on her so she can't move her hips and jump them up and start attacking with the triangle. I can bring my head up now and create a space between my shoulder and my neck. I then join my hands together down on her hip, push down while I lift my head up, breaking open the triangle. From there I can either drive forward downwards, or I can rise up, bring the leg through and drop that down into the pass. But the result is that I get through to that pass position. Okay, so we're now going to look at our fourth triangle situation and our fourth position of safety here. So from here, one arm gets put out, one arm gets put in, and the triangle's jumped up. Okay, she brings my posture and she brings the arm across. Now, this move can actually be done with the elbow back this side, but it can also, will still work here if she brings her knees to her shoulders. I'm still able to get to this fourth position of safety. So, whereas I can no longer do our third position that we just saw, simply because if we go around here, you can see that my knee now can't fit in here because she's squeezing her knee up to her shoulder. Okay, but what I'm able to do now is, because she hasn't completed the position yet, she hasn't engaged her hand fully, and I'm able to get hold of this wrist basically. So as she's pulling this arm across, maybe it's on my head like here and I push it off, maybe it's on her knee, maybe she's grabbing her shin for the angle adjustment, maybe she's on here, so maybe it's on the knee here. I can grab this wrist, so it's here, and I grab that wrist before she starts working with two hands on top of the head. Okay, so she's pulled the arm across now, or it's still on the side of the hip, but this wrist, I'm able to secure it. Her hands are not double locked down, 1 and 2 on my head here, and she hasn't got the angle adjustment yet. Maybe from this position, maybe she's grabbed the shin with this hand, maybe she's put the foot in the hip, but I grab that wrist, whether it's here, it's on my head, it's on here, yeah? She's in the fourth stage, she's adjusting the angle, she's brought the arm across, or she hasn't completely done it. The escape will still work if she hasn't completely brought the arm across, but crucially it works when she has brought the arm across. So she's just in the angle, this hand goes to the shin, the foot's in the hip maybe, and here I'm grabbing this. Okay, she's locked the triangle from here, and I get hold of this wrist, and this is going to be an important part of my next move to the position of safety. Look, I'm from here, once I secure the wrist, I'm going to step 1, 2 onto it, and I'm going to fall down to my side as I grab that leg. Okay, now from here, I'll pull it across the stomach as best I can, and from here now I'm pretty safe. She tries to squeeze the triangle from here, I'm able to hold it off by driving my head back, and as I mentioned before, it's quite difficult to finish triangles from on your side. Okay, she can reach up and try and pull down on my head, but she's only got one arm, and I can drive my head back and kind of stop that position. So from here, I'm much safer than the previous position I was in, and then from there, I can start to work. Okay, ideally, if I can, I'll get my leg over and join my feet together, and from here I'm very safe. Okay, if I can just get to this one, it will work as a really good position of safety. This is even better and will be a crucial next step in our escape. So I get hold of the wrist, I step 1, 2, drop down and grab my shin. Good things about this position, as I mentioned, it's hard for her to tighten and adjust the triangle, it's hard to squeeze to get the finish from here. I'm able to drive my shoulder in a bit better because we're on our side. Okay, it's also very hard for her to adjust and finish a triangle without being able to use her arms. This arm can't really do much, even if it can reach my head. She really needs the two hands to operate and adjust that triangle well, and I've got hold of this one,
and I'm stopping it from doing anything from here. Okay, so this is our fourth position of safety. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at our escape from that fourth position of safety. So from here, she throws one arm in, one arm out, breaks down my posture and pulls the arm across. Okay, what I'm going to do, I grab hold of this and secure it. I step up 1, 2, over to the elbow or the armpit, and I drop down and grab hold of my shin, pulling it across the stomach. From here I'm in my position of safety, but ideally I want to get this one over and cross my feet. From here now, I let go of my arms. I don't have to worry about her reaching my head from here. My feet are blocking her from coming. She tries to drive her head in towards me. It's really hard. I can drive back with my legs and stretch back. My two hands go to the knee, and I just simply stretch my hips forward like I'm trying to finish an armbar. Stretch my head back, my feet down, and it breaks that position open. Because I've got this leg over the top of her, I want to maintain that position and just stand from here and come round. Ideally, switching through. Okay, so again, from here she throws one arm in, one arm out, breaks the posture, and brings the arm across. So I'm able to secure that wrist. I'm going to step up 1, 2, grab my shin, fall down, and then I'm in my position of safety. I'll bring this over great, and from there I'm going to reach for the leg, stretch back, draw my hips forward, push back with my legs. I'm going to keep this leg on top and spin through, and hopefully slide over on top. From that position, when we first break it, the triangle open, and it's kind of like a neutral position, could be a bit of a scrambled position, but the important thing is I'm out of the triangle. Yeah, the other escapes do put you in a better position to pass, but at this point I'm dangerously deep in a triangle, and my main priority is getting out of that triangle, not necessarily worrying about being in the best position when I come out of there. So that's a luxury that I may be able to get if I'm able to move fast enough, but again my priority has to be getting out of that triangle first of all. Okay, and if I can get out of there, maybe I end up underneath, maybe I end up in a worse position than I was before I got into the triangle, but I'm still out of the triangle, and that's a very high percentage escape. Okay, so ideally from here you control the legs, you come up on top. Okay, but if that doesn't happen, at least we're out of the triangle. Okay, so something else that can happen in this position, which we're going to look at now, is she throws a triangle up, comes over here, I catch the wrist, I step up 1, 2, drop down and grab my shin, and at this point maybe she grabs my head. Now, if this happens, I can't get the leg over. I can draw my shoulder back, and if she tries to finish the triangle from here and squeeze, by keeping my elbow down here, my shoulder back, I can hold off the triangle still, so it still works fairly well as a position of safety. But from here, I need to get this hand off the head if I'm going to escape. So what I'm actually going to do is from here, I'm going to bring my leg round straight and sit up, and then I'm going to drive back with my head, and that will break that grip. I'm then going to quickly bring this leg over and cross my feet. From there I can move, stretching and breaking the triangle open. I come back out from here and get back to a good position. Okay. So just to show you that from another angle. In this position, I've got a grab hold here, go to a position of safety, and she grabs hold of the head and blocks me from bringing that leg over. Yeah, maybe she has all that, maybe she has hold of the gi here on the collar. Either way, she's pulling me forward, and I can't get the second leg over. What I'm going to do is sit up, bring my leg out straight here. If I can get it in the armpit, that's great, but if not, I'm just going to stretch back from here, and it should break that grip. I'm then going to quickly drop back on my side and bring my leg over. From here I can reach up and break it. So once more, I'm in that position. I grab the wrist from here, I step up, 1, 2, drop down, she grabs it back on my head. From here, look, if I pull back, I can't get the leverage to break it. So I put my leg out straight and I sit up and I stretch back. Okay? From there she's pulling on that, remember, so she grabs the head, she's pulling on it, I sit up straight and I'm trying to break that. If that doesn't work, I can maybe let go for a second, use my arm to clear it, quickly grab, and bring that back in. Okay. Remember, if I let go of my arm, I've got to be quick, because I don't want it to switch to an arm bar from there. So I can't let my arm get extended out, and also I want to maintain that structure of my hand to that shin. So if I'm quickly off to knock that off, I'm back down to there and grabbing it. But ideally, just by bringing that leg out straight and stretching back, it should break that grip on the head, because I'm able to then stretch much further back than she can reach from there, rather than when I'm on my side. It's a little bit harder to do because of the angle. From here, I'm able to do that movement better. So from here now, I shoot the triangle, break her posture, pull the arm across, grab the shin. But this hand's free. She grabs hold, she steps up 1, 2 on the foot, falls down and grabs on top of the foot and pulls it across the stomach. She's got the first part of the movement. When she tries to bring that second leg over to cross her feet, my arm's in the way. So she's going to relax down into the movement now and use her heel. She's going to turn her toes out and put her heel in the armpit. She's going to drive her leg forward and stretch back, and that will break the grip here. She can now swing the foot over and cross her feet, join her hands around the top of the knee, stretch back and pull and stretch with her legs, and it breaks the position. And she's escaped from there. Okay, so that's using the concept of the heel in the armpit just to stretch and break the grip. Can be another concept you can use to get out of that position. It may be that the position's too tight, but this is at the very end of the line here where you're struggling to escape. They've got that tight position. You know, the stretch down move can work. The legs across the body move would all be great. It's just that shin grip. When they're holding that shin grip and blocking you from getting the legs in, you just can't get the feet round and cross them. Yeah, and it's the same when we're doing it from the pull down knee position. You just can't get those feet across. So now we use the heel, rather than bringing it over, we turn the toes out, use the heel in the armpit, just push and stretch to break that grip off. It's a very strong grip, and you need to break that to then get out of the position. Okay, this escape and this position of safety can also be done on the other side. So from here, when I'm in this position, she moves that across, and from here she's maybe grabbed with this hand, and now I'm able to come across and block here with this hand and block this arm instead. So all this time I'm basically stopping her getting 2 hands onto the head or using 2 hands at once. From here I step up this side now, I step forward, I drop, I'm able to grab that shin. I'm able to bring my foot over and join these and then stretch back to break it. If she's got that hand on the head again like we just saw, I just straighten up from here and stretch back to break it, drop back down, leg comes over from there, breaking it open. So from here, look, she reaches up for the head with this one, but this one's still free, so I grab it and I'm able to block that one. I step up 1, 2, drop, and then I'm able to grab my shin. I reach over and I stretch back, grab the knee, stretching away to break open the position. Okay, so the last safety position and the last escape is our end of the line escape. This is our last resort, so we don't want to go to this escape unless each of those stages of the triangles has happened or are unable to go back to previous escape. We're blocked from that escape. So look, from here, she shoots up the triangle, 1 arm in, 1 arm out. She breaks the posture, moves the arm across, and now in this position, 2 hands have gone to the back of the head. I could maybe try and grab and punch one off and go for my previous escape, but I probably won't be able to do that. And also, it might be a bit tight here with the squeeze to be able to step up comfortably and get the angle. So that may not work. In this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach up and grab the shin here. So just to spin around to show you. So from here, I'm going to reach up, 2 hands now to this knee and secure this position. From there, I'm going to pull this down to the floor. We're driving out my head, pulling her knees away from her shoulder. And I'm going to slide around the angle and drop that to the floor, putting her on her side. I'm then going to hop up on my toes, put weight down on her hip. And from that position, if she pulls and tries to squeeze a triangle, and she really squeezes from here, I'm able to hold it off. So I'm in a safe position now. I've put her on her side where it's harder to finish a triangle, and I've also pulled her knees away from her shoulders, and I've changed the angle of the triangle so it's wrong. I'm also able to pull my head away a bit and drive my shoulder back and create a bit of space between my shoulder and my artery. And from this position, I can safely hold off the triangle and buy some time to start to work my escape. So now let's look at escaping from that position. So again, I'm in here. She puts 1 arm in, 1 arm out, breaks my posture and brings the arm across. She grabs the head with both hands now, and I'm unable to grab hold here and break this grip. So I go to the knee, 1 hand on top of the other, and I always grab above the knee here on the shin. I don't grab below on the thigh, so I grab above here on top of the knee. Go on top of here on the shin, just above here. It enables me to pull this leg down nicely. If I go on here, it's harder to do that movement, and I can't create as much leverage once I'm down here. Also, my hands get stuck underneath, and it's harder for me to pull. If I can go here, I can really drive into that joint and start to work on the separation between these 2 feet. If I'm underneath here, I'm pulling more back on the thigh, and the legs can stretch further without feeling that stretch there and the joint. So look, I reach up here, 1 hand on top of the other, and
The arm that's trapped in, you always put underneath. That way it can't be pried off into an arm bar. So that hand goes underneath, okay? Now look, from here, I'm going to pull it down and away from her to the floor. Keeping my head down, I'm going to hop up onto my toes and keep my weight down on her hip with my hip here. I'm going to start to draw this away from her here. What I'm going to do now is bring my hips up in the air and then drive them back down. We're driving my head up and pulling downwards on that knee and break open that triangle position. Once I get to here, I have to be careful. If I let go here, she can grab my arm and switch to the arm bar. So I want to be able to pull this arm on the inside and start to block straight away. So I need to get my arm back in. Okay. So again, from that position, shoots a triangle up, goes all the way through to the end point. So there's nothing else I can do now. I've just got this option left. I grab here, pull it down, drop onto my toes, and then bring my hips up, drive down, and sprawl forward, bring my head up, breaking through that gap. I quickly pull my arm out, and I can work through to the pass from there. Maybe I'm a bit late when I actually swings the leg back round and I get this back inside, and I end up in the guard position. But I'm out of the triangle. I'm in a much better position now to start to work my pass from here. Ideally, when these legs are down here, I'm just going to get my arm out, get my weight on top of her above the hips and start to pass. Okay. So again, we're in here. She throws that up. Okay, I reach across, get hold of this, pull it down, and get to my position of safety. Okay, now, sometimes once I get here, I'm unable to break the triangle in this method. What I will do then is start to walk around towards her head and walk my head away and start to flatten her down here so the grips on my head break. I'll get my weight over her back and start to draw the triangle back this way, and from there I'll push and pull down and that'll break open nicely. Okay, I've got to make sure I keep my weight this side of her centre line. If I go too far over, she'll simply just roll all the way through. So I want to be careful. I'll show you that now. So from here, I've got the triangle position, I'll bring it down, I'll start to walk across, she keeps it there, just rolls through, and now we end up back in the triangle in a mounted position. Let's show you that from back here. So from here, if I bring this down, I start to draw out, I walk round to the back, but I go too far over, she just rolls through and comes up into the mounted triangle position, okay, or she rolls completely through and ends up in a triangle back underneath again. So from here, that happens especially when I come up onto my knees. So from here, and she grabs hold of the head with two hands, so I grab here, I bring it down, I start to draw away, I hop out, but I'm too over eager here, I roll through, and I come up here. As she comes here, I come back to my knees, and now I'm back into the triangle. Maybe she finishes it. Okay, so once I'm drawn out there, I want to stay on this side of her back. I want to stay this side of the centre line. So let's just look at that again. From that position, it's a triangle. I grab this and I bring it away and down, open up. I walk around and start to put my hip down on her back, drawing away. I get weight down onto her back here, like this, and then I sprawl and drive. And you'll notice that I'm back this side of her. I don't go over this side where she can sweep me through, okay? I keep my weight safely over this side so it can't be transferred to this side of the position. A third variation on this can be, as I draw her out there, she goes completely belly down. Okay, in that position that I'll show you what we do, it's going to be similar to what we've just done. I come down here, but from this position she lets go and goes belly down here. I'm going to put my weight on her here, and if I keep my weight there, I can pull on the and should be able to just slip my head out. Okay. Importantly, I do not bring my weight over this side as we just discussed, because that's when she's going to follow me over, and then I end up in trouble. So I make sure to keep my weight back on that side. And now we go to our third one, which we can then do. Up down here, she goes belly down, through weight on the back. Maybe I bring my leg across to here, but I don't go all the way over, and I just pull my head back and I slip it out. I can switch to that one from the second one here, so I can switch through all three of those. So from here I go for the first one, she grabs the head, I come down, I go for that, doesn't work. So I walk around, get my weight on her here, start to break those grips on the head, I still can't sprawl through, so I bring her all the way flat, get my weight on her back, maybe with my leg across here, and I just slip my head out. But I make sure I don't take my weight all the way over that side where I'm going to get swept. So just to recap, and I'll show you them again from here. Number one, go up here, bring it down, drive through, break that position open. Number two, break that position. Number three, right, so an extra detail for this last one, in the position you may find yourself in from here, she goes one arm in, one arm out. Breaks the posture, brings it down. When she grabs the arm, or she grabs the head now, the arm's trapped on the inside. She says, I can't reach this knee properly to pull out. It feels like you can't do anything else and you need to tap. But actually, if you act directly, you've got a few seconds to work, and you reach in, grab this arm here on the wrist, and just punch it off quickly. That allows you to grab that knee back to here and down to here, okay? So it will feel like you need to tap at that point. It will feel like you need to get out. Now, you've got a second or two to try this. If you've already been in a triangle for a few seconds and you feel like you need to tap, it's probably too late to do it. But if you've just got put in it, you're squeezing, you feel like you're going to have to tap because you don't think you're going to get out. If you go here and do this, and drive down, you'll get to that safety position and actually be able to hold it off. It'll make the triangle feel much looser, okay? So from here, when she throws this one on, you get here and it feels like, oh, I can't do my escape. It feels like I'm probably going to have to give up and tap, but from here, look, I've got a second or two to work if I move directly. I grab that wrist, I punch it off if I can. I grab here, I draw down, and then I can come up and get to my position of safety and then work for my escape, okay? So that may work. You may not be able to punch that off, in which case you'll end up having to tap, but it's worth a try. So again, I'm in here, it's that position. I'm cross grabbing on the head, but the arm's on the inside now, so I can't reach the wrist. So I grab this, punch it off quick, grab here, pull it down, hop up, and now I can break free from there. And that first part where I punch that off needs to be done very quickly. You can't hang around there, else you're going to be going unconscious. So you need to grab that, punch it off, get the leg, and work from there. So from here, I come in here, shoot up with a triangle, break the posture, and this time I pull the arm across, and I grab in here, around the shin or the back of the head. So what we do here, feet reaches up and grabs on top of the knee, 1 and 2. She goes on top there. She's going to pull the knee to the side and sprawl down. Right? Now this time I transfer my grip to the shin, meaning when she drives forward, I'm able to hold that position better. So what she's going to do is just fall down to a side facing in towards me here. She's going to relax the backhand and pull her elbow under her. That enables her to walk her hips around very close to me. She's going to take the heel of her foot, put it into my armpit. She's going to push with her foot and stretch back, and that breaks the grip from here. From here now, she can go back to her knees and drive forward and break out from this one. Or if we go back, reverse slightly, from here, as she stretches it, the legs tend to come open a bit and she can often just slip her head straight out and get out of that position, okay? Important thing to remember is when you're doing that you're slipping the arm underneath, okay? So if I just go to that position, okay, so when I'm in here, okay, she's grabbed onto the head with both hands, so I reach up on top and I pull down, but she transfers that grip to the shin with that hand. So now when I drive forward, it's not breaking that grip so much. So that I'm going to relax and drop down, and I'm going to let go of this arm and tuck it under. That enables me to walk further round. I'm just going to reach on my foot into that armpit and stretch back. It's important I remember from there to let go with this arm, tuck it under, and enables me to walk my hips round and start to turn round more from that angle. Okay, so the arm slips underneath there. So just remember, first of all, when you get in the triangle, feel where you are, which stage of that triangle you're in, okay? Then get to your position of safety based on which one's possible from there. From there, you can then work your escape in your own time and start to get out without having to worry about the triangle getting further on. But if you're in the position and the triangle opens up and the escape's there, take it. But remember, address each stage with the appropriate triangle response and make them automatic. You don't want to get into a triangle and have to think through 12 different escapes.
Okay, you just want one set escape that you go to for that position, and that direct action will give you a much higher chance of escaping. Okay, so you really need to, in a triangle, time is really important. You need to act fast and start to get out. Okay, you can take time a bit more when you get to that position of safety, but you need to have a direct action immediately. The more you hang around in there, the more chances are you're going to be tapping. So you need to take direct action straight away with a pre-planned response for a triangle, and that's what I'm showing in this system. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you some of these actual escapes in actual use, so come forward here. Okay, so she's going to try and tap me with these triangles. I'm going to get out with our escapes. Okay, let's go. Okay. Variation on number 2. Variation on number 4 there. Number 3. That was the last one, number 5. And with a bit of a grip break there. 5.5 in as well. Number 4. Switch around. Number 1. Nice. Variation on number 1. Let's go. Nice. Variation on number 4. Basically, rather than doing it from the knees, I stood up. I'll get the arm back across like I'm trying. She's got control of the arm. Okay, so I'm kind of weird one here. Well, I've still got my posture, but she's got the arm kind of out the side. From here, I could stand up. If the one I just done, I'll let it keep going, and we'll go for the last one. Drive through those legs.